Hi. This next episode of Bobbie Shrivastav, I'm gonna have to whisper to you because Bobbie is an OG in the insurtech game. So I hope you enjoy because Bobbie is not somebody you can just book. Her experience, her background, and her network is crazy. So when Bobbie and I chatted, she was like, "Yeah, I'm coming on your podcast." I was like, super excited. So, anyways, so Bobbie is coming on the podcast to talk about her own journey building Benekiva and also what's she up to next. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hi, welcome to this episode of Founder's Journey. And today we have Bobbie Shrivastav here with us. I'm trying really hard to pronounce it.
Shrivastav. You
And
got it.
thank you for helping me out there. Thank you for coming on the show, Bobbie. And I'm excited to let our audience hear about your journey. I have run into you at a lot of the InsurTech conference events. I've seen you speak on the stage. So this is the first time I have you on the podcast. So I'm really excited to have this episode told and tell our audience about your founder's journey. And also, what are you working on now and what's ahead in the future for you? But we'd love to go back and just hear your story of how you get into insurance, how you started building your own company.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity. So, I started my startup journey back in 2015. So, I had a life event. I was a brand new mom. And as a brand new mom, you get inundated with not just the day-to-day responsibilities, but with a lot of paperwork. So I remember in 2015, when I had Sana, I literally took a picture of her and sent it to my HR and said, here she is, because I'm expecting whatever the process is for my maternity leave kind of kicks in when I've had her. And she just basically is like, oh, thank you. She's so cute. Here's the paperwork that you need to fill out, which is from a disability provider, because from our maternity leave, that was short-term disability. So it's not even a fillable PDF, right? So I'm looking at this document and thinking, okay, I'm a technologist. I figure out how to get it completed. But then at the bottom, the only option to send it to a carrier was through fax or mail. And as a technologist, I won't even touch mail because I know the amount of lost mail process, like that I know. So my only digital option was a fax machine. So I'm carrying Sana, go to the fax machine and fax this document. And then we got more documents, right? Like we got HR documents, hospital. I mean, it was documentation galore when you're a new parent and whenever you have a life event. So that idea, when she was 6 months, my husband and I poured our crazy new parent energy into building a company called Doxmore. And the whole idea was, how do you do more with documents? And how do you make these forms that you need to complete, but how do you get the data out so that I don't have to fill in multiple times the same information? So that was our genesis. Sana was our inspiration with our first company. And in 2016, when we had a family like reunion in Des Moines. So I'm in North Carolina, but my husband went to school at Drake, and he's got his family still there. So when we go there, I'm like, we're gonna do business development. We're gonna like find people and talk about Doxmore. It can't be just a Winston-Salem thing. It's gotta be like a Des Moines thing. So I literally did 10 cold emails and had two people respond, which is a pretty good rate. And one of them was like a nonprofit, and another one was a mayor of Clive who also worked at a company, and she's listening to the pitch. Both of them said yes, but one actually did meet with us, which was the mayor of Clive, and she's like, "This seems pretty cool. This seems very interesting. I can introduce you to someone that is doing something in tech." And we're like, "Would love to." And she actually makes two introductions. One was like an organization, and another one was with Brent, who's a financial advisor at the time with one of the large carriers. So we meet with him, and he's trying to sell us insurance policies because he's thinking, I've had a background. My corporate background is I worked at Pepsi. I was with United Guarantee, which is a division of AIG, and I was at the Center for Creative Leadership, which is like a large leadership organization. And Sovins worked at Aon, Wells Fargo, or Wachovia at the time, but Wells Fargo, Veterans Affairs. So he's thinking they may need like policy information, or like this is a great candidate for him. And we're like
What kind of
listening
policy was he trying to sell you?
life policies. Because I think he's only sold like life and those investment products. So he's pitching us about the importance, right? And we're like, can you go back? Can you talk to us about what you're doing in tech? And that's when he was like, hey, I've got this problem in his agency where he was trying to figure out how to retain assets. So at the time of claim, either he doesn't get notified, or the Benny wants all those, whenever they get the proceeds, they want to take the business out and put it somewhere else, just because there's an issue with the claim process. And we were actually, when we were hearing him discuss, there was a notion of, he shared a statistic with me, and this is where I was like, hell freaking no, right? He said 68% of claims go unclaimed for one reason or another. And as a new parent, I had already done the checklist box, Jeff, right? Like when we get to be new parents, we're like, okay, we're going to buy life insurance. We're going to make sure our family's protected. And we had done that. And when he said 68% of claims go unclaimed, and when you do the research at all of the carrier sites, even now, I'm talking about 2016, right? Even now, it's a very legacy-based process, right? It's a lot of phone calls. It's a lot. It's still right now. There's a lot of room there's a lot of opportunity for growth there. But back in 2016, that statistic stood to me, and Brent is a non-tech founder, he doesn't come from tech, so he was looking for folks like Sovin and I to say, hey, can we join up and do something? And I would say like our first MVP, it didn't even go to the claims piece, because we were thinking about tackling unclaimed property and how do we create this report. And our advisors and mentors along the journey really steered us towards building a claim solution. So 2017, we're working on our MVP at this point, and we talked to 3 large organizations to show them what we've built. One of them was Brent's former carrier, and they're so large, they said, great idea, come back when you have a customer or two, and then we'll look at you. The second one was a bank, because banks also have a claims issue, but it wasn't a priority for them at that point. And then the third one was a pre-need company, Homesteaders Life, which processes small claim amounts, but they do it like 60 to 70,000 claims a year. And for them, it was like, we're interested. So in 2017, we had virtual demos, we had on-site demos. I remember at that point, so I told Sovin, you're going to go full-time. He's our first employee. He's our first founder in Benekiva that left his full-time job. And I was supporting him. And I was like, we got this, we're gonna do it. So he went like around April-ish. And then when we were progressing, I remember coming for a vacation, because at this point we're building and working our full-time jobs. This is like a side hustle on steroids. Like all our free time after Sana went to building this solution, building like the documentation. I mean, we were on like a very big high and rush. Like we just got some stuff done. So back in 2017, I remember it was July or August, and we talked to them about an approach, because I come from my corporate background is I'm a technologist. I've led I've been a developer. I've led teams of developers as well as I've led huge enterprise level initiatives. So I know project management. I know program management at a very like like 10 million plus dollar projects, right? Like those were the projects I used to manage. So for me, like they were like, "Hey, give me an approach." I'm like, "Got it." Like this is like coming from like stuff that I already know. So I built them an approach document and an implementation and gave them like, okay, if we were to say yes to this solution, Benekiva, it's going to take us this amount of time. These are the resources. But if just Sohan and I do it, this is what we can do. But it's got to be like, are you interested? And they basically is like, can you come tomorrow and start the discovery process? And I'm like, I'm working full time. I'm on my vacation, but yes, oh heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. So that's when the three of us had a conversation to say, okay, guys, I have to now leave my position at the Center for Creative Leadership and so that I can pursue this full time because part of the money piece, Jeff, was we were going to get this whole project was part of our investment that homesteaders was interested in. So not only were they interested in purchasing Benekiva for their claims, but they were also interested in investing in us. So they kind of looped those things together. So
So within
September,
your seed round,
yeah,
any seed
yeah, with
investment?
our yeah. So with our pre-seed, call it seed, pre-seed, whatever, right? Back in 2017. So when they and you know how it is, right? A 2 month or 3 month process is never a 2 month, 3 month process. Naive.
I'm
Uh,
curious, what was your pre-seed valuation from an early stage idea?
I will cannot disclose that. So
Okay,
we can
just
chat
ask.
offline on that, but not for public. But it was substantial because what Steve had done at that time is he had validated a concept with his mutual president and said, if there's a claim solution, will you do you have a need and will you buy it? And they were like, we don't vote, yes, like because nobody has like a proper claims solution outside. There's a handful of carriers. It's interesting in life. PNC has a different animal, but life, I was even shocked, right? When I came in to look at this problem, I was like, they must have like these are like large organizations. No, they don't have a proper claim solution. So so 2017 September, Jeff, I leave my job. So Sylvan and I have no money. This is our bootstrapped initiative and our savings and this will happen was like the motivation to keep going. So we're starting this implementation journey, we're starting the requirements process. They take our MVP and of course we're going to have the voice of the customer to like really define and build out more of the product. So that was our journey and we did not get our funding till March. So that was a pretty scary time in both of our worlds where like 6 months no income, and with investments, you know how it is. It's a gamble, it's a risk, but I'm so glad we took the risk and had the mindset to tackle over because I was the second founder to go and Brent didn't leave till like January of 2018. Because he was focused more on the sales side of the business. The build was really Sovan and I on the Benekiva side. So it was a very scary time in 2017, 2018. And when that happened, it was like a breath, like, okay, breathe. We have money now. Now we can like actually like this is good. So that we can at least draw out like the minimum that we need for survival, at least.
So your capital deposit agreement on the investment came in 2017 or 2018?
It started in 2017, but it didn't get executed till 2018.
2017 and 2018 was like the peak of insurtech venture capital putting money in insurtech founders. So you guys were part of the beginning rush.
I would say, and we got strategic money, so it wasn't a VC,
Yeah.
it was through a carrier, so it was strategic. Um, but fortunately that got executed because that was a very big risk, right? Because we were really betting on like handshakes,
Mhm.
words, and a lot of trust to get us through those 6 months, because at some points we weren't hearing any communication, at least Owen and I weren't. So there was like this, like, no, what we're doing is good, we got this, let's keep doing, let's keep chugging along. And then I still had Doxmore, right? But Doxmore was really D2C, right? Like it was selling like DocuSign. And I mean, I don't know how much I can sell to support our family, right? Because we weren't thinking enterprise with Doxmore yet, right? And we were thinking more, let's get organic growth and let's. So I had, yeah, it was 2017 was crazy for us. And in midst of this, Jeff, this is interesting that nobody really knows about. In 2017, I had a condo that I had that was up for rent. And in this midst, I had a squatter incident. So not only did we have this issue, but I had a squatter. So I didn't even get rent money from that condo. In fact, I had to like fork over like 4K for damages and court fees to get him out. And and that led me and my friend to build a real estate startup, which really is not existing. I was the CTO, so I actually built like, how do you do like a landlord tenant agreement, contracting, make sure everybody's on the same page so you don't make the mistakes I did with the squatter. Because I lead with people, I lead with trust all the time. And that lesson taught me, like, okay, Bobbie, you can't trust strangers. These people could be nice, but they're because they gave me a check. I should have like gotten a deposit before I gave them the keys. Instead, I just cashed it and the money didn't come. That's how it was 2017 was interesting. So, but that company no longer exists. It was like my idea, like as founders, we like, oh, I could solve this, I could solve this, this happened, let me solve this. And really in 2018, it taught me, when we got our investment, that was serious. And we now have to like really execute. I don't have time to monkey around with other ideas. So I had to like put laser focus on Benekiva in 2018. So now from 2018 to now 2024, we worked with over 25 carriers, all in the life annuity side of the business with their claim solution. So we've got 25 customers, 20 of them have decided to implement or are in the implementation progress. And the area of the organization that, from a three founder perspective, Sobin was always tech and innovation. I was our COO, so I led the customer care, the delivery, the product, and the security side of the house. And those are things, and when we talk about journeys, right, there's skill sets that founders bring to the table. And security, even though I am not your typical CISO, but it's something that I learned in corporate when I was with AIG. I had to do a lot of internal audit of applications. And that helped us at a startup world that we didn't have to hire a CISO. I could actually start a security practice and hire very lean so that we can like actually go through our SOC 1, SOC 2 process. I think you have to be very creative at a very early stage company. You have to wear multiple hats, and or to make your dollar stretch as much as you can. And I was fortunate for the experiences in my corporate, which really helped me with building Benekiva to where it is now. And then Brent focused more on the sales, marketing, finance side of the house. So that was like our structure until 2024. And now in 2024, I've decided to step out and really start doing an independent, like be an independent of Benekiva. We've grown it to 111 people. So I'm proud of what we've done. Sobin's left, and he's looking at different options, and now we're really leaning on the team as a shareholder to like really execute and deliver on the promise that we had vision for.
So I think I'm gonna go back for a second and go through a couple of things. What was the big moment that you guys got a big account and then they're like, okay, idea, build a product, and here's the money because we got the customers that believe in our product. What was the big account? Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Track AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Track, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Track automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Track handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Track. Visit track.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Track today.
I would say in 2018, everything that we did, and even up to now, Jeff, everything that we do in our organization is through the voice of the customer, right? We lean in on our customers to understand the pain points. So when we started our company, it was a pre-need claim solution, and we've evolved it to life. We've evolved it to annuities, and that's a lot of it has to do with our customers. But I would say in 2020, we had built so much of our platform that because we were servicing we had worked with 3 companies, but 2 of them were in production. And this organization came in at COVID. Totally different use case, Jeff. Totally different use case. Wasn't claims at all. And we looked at our technology and said, we got this and we'll do it in 8 weeks. So it was taking 8 of their forms. So once again, very similar to my origin story, I've got the only way customers can transact with us as a carrier is through mail and fax. We want in 2020 to give them a digital option because we're closing down a piece of the business, and these customers that are 200,000 people have no home. Their only home is to go to a website, download the document if they want to get access to their proceeds. So it's not claim, but it's more like that servicing side of the house. And so Brent focused on the contracting side. We didn't really even, like Sovin had to do like a couple of enhancements to make some of the tweaks that they were looking for. But in 8 weeks, we started the contracting journey. And this is our leap of faith. We started a configuration activity. And in 8 weeks, for a large tier 1, I can't say the name, but large tier 1, we got them up and running in 8 weeks. And that has never been done in their organization's history with a technology solution. And we deployed it. It was successful. They're still our client. And they use that piece of it to work with that customer to hey, I've got to change my account. I got to get a disbursement. So it's a lot of claimy type of stuff, but it's a little bit before on the servicing side. And I think at that point we were like in 2020, like, okay, all this hard work from 2016 to 2020, now we're able to reuse our platform and not have to innovate so much. We got this. And I think that's where the confidence like really started into leaping into where we're at right now.
So at this point, let's talk about the dynamic of the company. Brent seemed like the sales distribution, maybe chief revenue officer or
yeah, he was our
that type of role.
CEO. Yeah.
CEO. And you were the CTO, I'm assuming?
COO.
COO, okay. Do you say your background is execution, project management, or is it tech and development?
It was started off as tech and development, and it moved into project management, program management, and then latter part of CCL is where I got exposed to how do you build products for on the tech side of the house, right? So how do you package it and commercialize it? And that was valuable experience. That's, that helped us with packaging with what we're doing with Benekiva right now, right?
What do you think contributed to your success as a founder? Like, what are the little things that you did before that led you to have the skill set to do it here?
Oh, I credit two organizations that have had a huge contribution in my success. One is Pepsi. I learned if you work at Pepsi, like your first 2 years, they teach you how to navigate the organization if you lean in on that experience, right? If you can show that you're a go-getter, they will throw work at you. And yes, you may not get paid. It doesn't matter. It was the experience. And I got to see so much side of the organization in the accounts receivables, all the back office work, the cash team, the AR accounts receivable teams, the payroll team, how do you do accounting? So it gave me that breadth of experience. And then when I became a first time leader at Pepsi, they trained us. How do you lead people? And I was very young when I was at Pepsi, and most of the people I managed there was a generation gap, but they taught you and they coached you on how to lead people. And to me at Pepsi, what I really learned is no matter how brilliant you are as a professional, you got to lean in on your people. The people is what makes you better, right? And that carried with me. And at CCL, to be honest with you, I became a better leader because I'm surrounded by people that think, how do you take leadership and take it to how do you globalize that? And the stories that you would hear even as an employee of how you can take a leadership concept and go to Africa, a country like Africa, in a rural village where they're having amazing leadership conversations. And it's not leadership to get self-promotion, but it's leadership to make sure that as a society, we need better leaders because it's a societal problem. If you think about leadership, it's not like, oh, hey, I'm a servant leader, I'm a level 5 leader. Who freaking cares? What's your impact? What's your legacy? It's what that is. And that if you can take it to a societal and community level, that's what it showed me. It was a very humbling experience working at CCL because it showed me that yes, you can lead people, but you got to do more, Bobbie. You got to look at communities, how you impact communities, how you impact societies. And, I would say it's what, when I think about Benekiva and the structure and the processes we create, it's our people, our 111 people that makes Benekiva look really, really, really amazing, right? So
Where does the name come from? Can you give us the
yeah,
name
so
origin and the meaning?
Benekiva is Benny short for beneficiary, Kiva is chamber for all. So we combine those words, and actually the three of us, Sova, myself, and Brent, in 2016 is when we said, hey, what are we going to call this thing? And we were brainstorming in that, and it happened. So
Got it. Now makes sense. So you mentioned that you left. And, for those of audience listening, today is October 8th, and on October 7th, yesterday, you made a pretty lengthy LinkedIn post giving credit, giving thanks to all those people who helped you guys succeed on this journey, this awesome journey. It has been what, 8 years, 7-year run
8
since
years.
on this whole journey, and now you are about to take on something new. Would you give us a little sneak peek? Are you going to take a break and figure out what's the next step, or is there something already planned?
So I would say I left because I needed to leave, right? And my post shares I'm a big believer in having a voice and having a seat at the table, right? And I left because, it's changed, right? We brought in new leaders, and it's my time to really step away and allow that new leadership to execute, right? I don't want to be in the way. So right now, I've launching a book at ITC. It's so funny how the universe like plans this stuff and you don't even know it. So I've been working with Renu on for the last 8 months on an idea that we both executed on Sundays on our weekends. And it's coming to life, and we were like, "Oh, it's coming!" And we were thinking it may or may not be Vegas to launch, but it happened. And just like a few weeks back, we were like, "Hey, I think we can make it to Vegas with this." And then this happened, right? Like with me leaving Benekiva. But I'm really, Jeff, I'm going to be independent for a while. I have to be independent just to make sure that it's a big change, right? And it's a baby that I've helped build, right? And it's my baby, right? And when your baby is given to foster care, this is the best analogy I can give. It's very painful, it's very hurtful, but it needs to happen, right? So at this point, I'm going to be independent. There are a few use cases that I'm exploring. I'm surrounding myself with amazing change makers, creators, innovators, and I think we're going to be cooking up something in the next few months. I'm going to stay in life. That's going to be the closest thing that I'll say. I'll stay in life, annuity health side of the house. I'm very much in love with long-term care. I think there's massive opportunities there it's getting me excited to go innovate in that space as well. But I think I'm going to take 3 to 6 months to like stay independent until I brew something to share to the world. But it will be, I'm a techie, right? I'm a creator. I'm not, I will eventually build something. So, and it's in the works. Ideas in the
Agree with
works.
you. I agree with you on the fact that there is a lot there to innovate in the long-term care world.
Oh my gosh. It's massive. And the people are amazing. That's the pieces like you look at the industry, right? Like insurance, you look at an industry and you're like, it's riddled with opportunities galore. But then when you fall in love with the people that are actually driving the change, right? And they're trying. So how do you help? And long-term care to me is like that community is so good. They're people that want help. They will give help. Even in Benekiva world, our use case for long-term care came through a partner. And this is not a monetary transaction partner. I call them a partner because they gave me time to learn their business and learn their process. That to me is what makes our industry beautiful. It's not always about give and take, like in the monetary or transaction way, but there's a lot of people that want to give. And I think it's a blessing for us innovators.
I see that you are also serving on a board. Are you serving on multiple board or just one board?
So I'm very active with insurtech association, and I believe in what Joshua and Bob are doing with that organization. So when they asked me to be on the board earlier this year, I said yes. And in fact, I've been pinging them to say, with my new independent company, I want to be one of your founding partners because I think that much of that organization. So I'm going to continue to stay and serve.
That's cool. Anything else planned for ITC? I heard that we chatted earlier. Yeah, a blog coming out. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So in ITC, I will be going as an independent leader. I'm launching a book, and then my collaborator and I are starting to look at just when you think about operations as a whole from an insurance industry, where can AI really fit in? And it's not like a blog series of yes, there is going to be some use cases, right? Which everybody needs to see and like kind of drill down, like these are actual use cases like that could be pursued. But the key is we're also approaching it from a guiding principles perspective. So this blog is going to say, how do you approach a technology like AI? And what are some guiding principles that you need to look into? And there's 6 of them that we're going to highlight in this blog series. And one of them is going to be, you can't digitize everything. As much as everybody would be like, digitize everything, there's a balance between what a human can do versus what tech can do, and especially when we look at back like operations. It's this concept that Sovan had coined at Benekiva called humanimation, is how do you allow human centered work. So let the tech, it's no longer tech enabled, let's make it human enabled. It's human enabled work, because that's where we need people at its most highest value, which is the cognitive, it's the decision making complexities, and let the tech do the mundane admin side of the house. So that's just one of the concepts. So
I feel like you're holding back on us on so many things, but I'm gonna get you back on a couple more episodes so you can keep on downloading to our audience.
oh, would love to, would love to. It's a journey, right, Jeff? So you've had your
Yeah.
interesting journey, and it's all about evolution in my world, and embracing evolution.
I would love to sit in a room with you, just whiteboard some stuff and just pour ideas to the whiteboards.
Hey, we're close. We're close by anytime, Jeff. I think we could create with your brain and my execution skills. I think with our brains together, we can and put in Alex in the mix. It'll be fun. So
Yeah. So those viewers don't know, I live in Northern Virginia and I'm not that far drive from Bobbie. You know, she's in North Carolina. And one of our co-founder and COO from insurtech media, his name's Alex, and he's also a friend with Bobbie. And we're like, what a small world. You know, we're going back and forth like, yeah, you know, one day we should have you, Alex, and me, and you know, we just get on a podcast, just talk about the industry trends and what we see coming. I think, you know, all of us going to ITC Vegas, you know, I think this is the first year we're going to see a lot of ChatGPT implementation adoptions, right? There's 2.5 million builders right now doing things around ChatGPT. So, you know, it'd be fun to watch what people coming up with in Vegas.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that too.
You know what? I just got a show idea. We're going to interview people to do post ITC Vegas. What did you think? What do you think? What are you thinking?
I think that's a great idea, Jeff.
Yeah. Get you on here for a couple more episodes. That's just my way. All right. Well, thank you very much, Bobbie, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity.
I'm gonna put your links in the comment section, and then so this way that our audience can go to your LinkedIn and follow with you and connect with you. And just thank you for coming on the show, and what amazing journey that you had. And I am excited to watch you in your next journey.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.